Okay, welcome to my first check-in. If you've been following the series, then you'll know this is my first week trying to drop body fat, okay? In the last video, I explained the first week is not about trying to drop body fat as quick as possible and just jump, try and get as much progress out of fat loss. It's not about that. It's about collecting data, seeing what's happening, getting everything we need to make the adjustments going into week 2, and that's exactly what's happened, okay? I'm going to give you a verbal run through now of what happened last week, and then I'm going to transition to the desktop. I'm going to show you all the facts, all the data, show you all the adjustments that I've made going into week 2, and just break everything down and explain everything, okay? The first week of a fat loss phase is not about trying to get shredded and drop as much body fat as possible. This is the biggest mistake you can make, right? The first week is about collecting data, assessing that data, and then making the necessary adjustments based off this into week 2. So for the first week, I stuck to my nutrition plan, 100% accuracy, didn't come away from the plan. All meals were in, yeah? 5 training sessions, 0 cardio, 10K steps minimum. It ranged from 10 to 12K, okay? That's all I did, didn't do anything crazy. I just stuck to the diet, did my training, made sure that I moved, got 6 to 8 hours of sleep. That is it. I've dropped 1.4 pound in the first week. Now, you could argue that 1.4 pound is bloating, water retention, extra food in my digestive system from eating more food. Maybe so, but that doesn't matter. The first week is about collecting data, and that's exactly what I did. I've got all the data I need to make the necessary adjustments going into week 2. I know what I ate, how much I moved, didn't do any cardio, did 5 training sessions, how I felt, looked, performed, visuals. I've got all the information I need to make adjustments going into week 2 to ensure that I see fat loss. This isn't guesstimate, this isn't guesswork. It's based on data, it's based on facts. I've got my feedback, visuals, data, yeah? We put all of that together into week 2. That's how we see progress. I'm gonna go on the desktop now. I'm gonna run you through all of the facts, show you the visuals, show you all of the details that I can see. The reason I'm walking you through this is because I want men to know how easy it is to get in shape and drop body fat. It is the easiest thing ever when you know what to do. Okay, first week's data. Before we look at visuals, let's assess the data. Let's assess what's actually happened, okay? So steps were between 10 and 12K. There was just one day there where I got 15,900. That's because I was doing motocross on Saturday. I was walking around the paddock a lot, so my step count increased quite a bit, okay? I got 6 to 7 hours of sleep per night, and my sleep quality was about 5. Really good sleep. When my nutrition is 100% dialed in, my training's dialed in, my sleep is like clockwork. That's one thing people don't talk about. When your digestion's good, your nutrition's good, you're eating clean foods, you're training in the gym, you're living that healthy lifestyle, your sleep is so much better. There's nothing disrupting your sleep or your rest. First week's scale weight started at 226.9, held position up until Wednesday at 226.9. Looks very similar. That I did jump on and off the scales about 3 or 4 times because I was convinced it might be stuck, but I ended up holding something on the scales just to see if it increased, and it did, so the scales are accurate. I was just the same weight 3 days on the run. Then I dropped to 225.5, came down to 225.1, and then on check-in day, yesterday, Sunday, I was 225.5, so a total of 1.4 pound down, okay? So my notes, previous check-in, no cardio in the first week, 10K steps per day, gather the data, and adjust from here. This is exactly what I've done, okay? No cardio, just 10K steps, nutrition, and I've dropped 1.4 pound, and it's progressively come down. It's not a fluke, it's progressively come down, it's under control, okay? So, first week usually happens a little bit quicker than the rest of the week because you're settling into the nutrition. So what I've done is made some fine tweaks just to speed up that process. I want to average anywhere between 1 and 2 pound per week, okay? The changes that I've made to my nutrition are very, very small, okay? People think you need to do massive adjustments, massive calorie drops, massive carb drops, huge changes to your nutrition to see results faster. That is the worst thing that you can do. That's how you're going to crash and burn. The smaller the tweak, based off the data that you've got, the better result you're going to get and the less disrupted your training and fat loss is going to be, okay? These are the changes that I've made. I've made 2 changes to my nutrition. That is it. My oats in the morning, I took them from 100 gram to 80 gram, okay? The post-workout cereal, if you remember in the last video, I said that's going to be the first to go. I've removed it. So now all I've got post-workout is my Pro Recovery, which is still 52 grams of carbs. I've removed that cereal, it's gone. And then I've my fruit after training, and then my post-workout meal is normal. That is it, okay? That is it. I've took my carbs down to 425 gram calories, 3,500. They are the only changes to my nutrition that I've made, okay? The only other thing I've implemented is I've increased my steps to 12k minimum. Still not doing any cardio. Why do I need to do cardio if I'm dropping body fat? I feel good, I look good, my performance is good, mental clarity is good, energy levels are good, digestion's good. I've seen fat loss in the first week. Why do I need to put cardio in? Why would I need to pull that tool out of the toolbox when I can use it later on, okay? Last video I said we start a fat loss phase with a toolbox. I'm leaving all of the tools in there, okay? Steps from 10k to 12k. So basically that's gonna fit into what I'm currently doing. I'm just gonna get either an extra 10 minutes in the morning, or I'm gonna get an extra 10 minutes in before I go to bed. Whichever's gonna be easiest on the day, okay? That is it. That's all I'm gonna do in week 2, okay? Let's look at the visual changes. Okay, this is 1 week's difference. Now bear in mind, this is the same time of day, the same lighting, the same clothing, okay? Looking at this now, it looks on the right like there's a little bit of filtering. I can't change the lighting in the garage. There's 2 massive LED bulbs in the ceiling. It is what it is. There's no like light facing me here. I just turn the garage lighting on. There's no external light, there's no windows or anything. This is exactly the same. Now, what can I see here? I can see my midsection a little bit tighter. I'm a little bit fuller around the chest. My skin's tiny little bit tighter. My body composition's basically changed a little bit. This happens every time I do a fat loss phase, okay? On the left, a little bit of body fat around that midsection, a little bit of water retention. I've dropped 1.4 pound, right? We're not gonna see huge changes in the first week, but you're looking at that, you tell me you can't see progress in the first week. I can definitely see it, okay? Things have tightened up a little bit. I've got a little bit more fullness, a little bit more pop to me. That's because I've been 100% on the nutrition. Everything's been executed perfectly. This is 1 week, yeah? If these are the changes that I've seen in the first week, what am I gonna look like at the end of February from doing minimal stuff, yeah? Just being accurate with my nutrition and training, okay? This is the message I'm trying to get across. Seeing progress with your physique is easy when you know what to do. When you don't know what to do, it's incredibly difficult. Let's look at a different angle. Okay, front bicep. Now you might be watching this right now. Yeah, don't forget I'm a competitive bodybuilder. I'm just going through some poses that I'm familiar with and can show off my physique with. You might not be able to do it as comfortable as me, but this is just the norm for me, okay? What can I see here? A little bit more definition come through in the legs. Midsection's definitely tighter. Tiny bit of definition around the biceps. I just look a little bit sharper. I just look better. When you put it side by side like that, you're watching this right now, you can see the changes, can't you, okay? The kind of changes you're seeing here, they're gonna keep coming every single week. And the adjustments that I've ran you through in this check-in, that's what's gonna ensure that keeps happening. Now, important things to note. If I would have jumped in at the deep end and been like, right, I'm gonna cut my calories, I'm gonna cut my food, I'm gonna bring my nutrition down, I'm gonna do 30 minutes of cardio, I would not have seen this progress. I would have been flat. My training performance would have been in the bin. Appetite would have been through the roof. I would have looked just stringy. See how I'm full here? Still got all my muscle, like it's not going anywhere. Biggest mistake people make, they do too much too quick. They start a diet like, right, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna do 40 minutes of cardio every day. Massive drop with the nutrition. All that happens is they crash and burn. They hate dieting, they're starving, they're food focused. Too much cardio, they're tired, it affects work, daily life, energy levels are in the bin, training performance is in the bin, start losing muscle, scale weight's coming down, but they feel like shit. I feel amazing. Don't even feel like I've been on a diet this week. I've enjoyed all of my diet. My appetite's been amazing. Stomach is nice and flat, zero bloating, training performance is through the roof. I feel good. This is how simple it has to be when you know what to do. Too many men overcomplicate this stuff. This is why I'm showcasing how easy it is to get in shape, okay? All my clients look the way they look because I do all the data tracking. I tell them what to eat, I tell them how to train, I teach them in the process. So once they leave me, they have all of this information and they know why I've done certain things like I'm showing you right now. But getting in shape, getting your life back on track, dropping body fat, sorting your shit out is simple when you know what to do, and I make it simple, okay? Okay, so that is a full run through of my check-in and my progress for my first week of fat loss, okay? I'm gonna execute week 2 now with all of the changes that I've just showed you, and then I'll give you another update at the end of next week, and I'll show you where I'm up to.